Okay. Hello. Welcome to Neurospicy Queer Collective. I am Julian, also Ka. I am Crowbear. We are going to be here a while today, y'all. I've tried to do this twice now, and I keep losing the videos, and I don't know why this is happening, because this is very important. And, oh, hi, Bean. I have a bean. I have a bean right under my desk, right where my feet need to be. Of course I do, because that's the way this goes. Okay, so let's get settled in. Let me make sure I've got everything showing up correctly. Um, I am still working on getting the ratio to my mouth being open and closed at the right time. So bear with me. Yeah, I can actually mess with it while I'm on stream, which is the really cool thing about this program. Okay. Hello. What the fuck? I was able to get it to open and close a lot more, and I'm not sure how I did that. It doesn't really matter that much. At least it is working. A couple of the programs that I tried were not working. Like, not for me. And that's part of why I was convinced to do this today, because the developer for one of the programs to become a PNG tuber was, I think, I don't want to assume, but I think quite young, and so young that in fact they wrote the guide for native tech users, which I am not. I was an analog person. I grew up in the early 80s. So, yeah, that I was born in 81. So I grew up analog. I did not go digital until I was in double digits. We got our first computer when I was 10 years old. I think it was around the same time that we got a Super Nintendo, too. Actually, it wasn't a Super Nintendo back then. Back then, it was just the Nintendo Entertainment System. Let me be correct. Hi. Hi, LNA. Hi, Nico. How you doing? I'm glad you're here. I'm going to be on here for a while because I've felt like called to do this for a bit. I never wanted this to be my special fucking interest. I am a never LLMer. I have been for a very long time now for a lot of reasons, which I am hoping that this will make clear. I'm so glad you're doing well. I know you were going to be busy today. I hope I didn't like interrupt you or anything. But yes, while I'm reading this, while we're on stream, we are still going to be streaming for the Trans Empowerment Project, which here at Neurospicy Queer Collective VNI strongly support and believe in their mission, which is to center support of two TIGE BIPOC people, so two TIGE BIPOC people, which is two spirit, trans, intersex, gender expansive. Black, Indigenous people of color. And these are the people that are centered at Trans Empowerment Project for employment, for support first, because it has been hardest on them. Let's be real, you know? Hello. Hey. So, these are, y'all are two of my best friends. So, this is Nico, and Nico, this is Em. And yeah, I wouldn't do that if there were other people in here, but yeah. I hope that was okay. Yeah. So we're gonna get into this here. This is AI safety for fleshy humans. There is a song actually by Ashnikko. I don't know if y'all know. No, it wasn't. I know, right? I love your sense of humor. Oh, hello, viewers. See, in one place it says I have one viewer, and in another place it says I have four, so who freaking knows? But I'm glad y'all are all here. We're going to be doing AI safety for fleshy humans. I was just saying one of my favorite singers, Ashniko, does a song called World Eater, and in it is the line, "These AI hate my flesh, I love it." And yeah, I like that song right now. Um, Yeah, I didn't start out as a never AIer, by the way, a never LLMer, because it's not artificial fucking intelligence. Anyway, we will get there. I didn't start out that way. I started out with watching the first AI movie back in the early aughts with Haley Joel Osment playing the little AI robot boy who is just so waif-like and sad and oh my goodness, that whole movie, Jude Law in it. Oh my God, that was a big part of my growing up, was that movie. It was long and it was convoluted. And at the end of it, I felt like my heart had been ripped out. But that's what I was hoping AI would be. We don't have fucking AI. We have large language models. Large language models are largely still nuts and bolts, and we'll get there. God, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. So the AI debate is actually 100 debates in a trench coat, y'all. Will artificial intelligence, AI, help us cure all disease and build a post-scarcity world full of flourishing lives? Oh, by the way, before I get too going here, Nicky Case and Hack Club. These are awesome resources. Ncase.me. Nicky Case has done a lot of free open source software and tools and helpers for people. And Hat Club is for teenagers. And they are both an awesome resource. So yeah, if you're interested in all, you can check those out. The website I'm on is simply aisafety.dance. So yeah. And wow, there was my history for a second. I hope there was nothing embarrassing. Oh well. But the intro, here we are. So, or will AI help tyrants surveil and manipulate us further? Hint, hint, it's that one. Hint, big, yeah, it's that one. If I didn't say it loud enough, it's this one. Um, are the main risks of AI from accidents, abused by bad actors, or a rogue AI itself becoming a bad actor? Is this all just hype? Why can AI solve Olympiad-level math problems yet can't play Pokemon? Why is it hard to make AI robustly serve humane values or robustly serve any goal? What if an AI learns to be more humane than us? What if an AI learns humanity's inhumanity, our prejudices and cruelty? Also, they have. Are we headed for utopia, dystopia, extinction, a fate worse than extinction, or the most shocking outcome of all, nothing at all changes? Also, will an AI take my job? And many, many more questions. Alas, to understand AI with nuance, which I realize I have not been very good at to start with here, so my apologies, but I have my reasons, so we'll keep going. With nuance, we must understand lots of technical detail, but that detail is scattered across hundreds of articles buried 6 feet deep in jargon. So I present to you a sweeping tour guide to AI safety for us warm, normal, fleshy humans. This is RoboCat, who is 100% human, of course. This three-part series is your one-stop shop to understand the core ideas of AI and AI safety, explained in a friendly, accessible, and slightly opinionated way. Related phrases: AI security, AI risk, AI X risk, AI alignment, AI ethics, AI not kill everyone ism. There is no consensus on what these phrases do and don't mean, so I'm just using AI safety as a catch-all. This series will also have comics starring a robot Catboy maid, like so. So this is an example of goal misspecification. You tell your robot Catboy, keep this house clean. And Robot Catboy says, objective, keep house clean. And then question, what causes the mess? Answer, the humans cause the mess. Therefore, get rid of the humans. Yeet! And there you go, straight out the door. CC by Nicky Case. Yeah, so this is unfortunately kind of close to where we are. Anyway, no, I don't know. I don't really know, but I have feelings tour guide voice. And to your right, you will see buttons for the table of contents right here. Changing this web page's style, I do have it on dark mode, and a timer down here that is the reading time remaining clock. This series was and will be published in 3 parts. The intro, part 1, past, present, and future, were out in May 2024. Now, I do realize this is old, y'all. This is the history of LLMs, and I know 2 years, 3 years, yeah, a lot has happened since then. However, this is a solid foundation for understanding how we fucking got here, and I believe it's really, really important that we all learn it. So, that's why I'm here, and I'm going to power through this whole thing. Okay, so first off, we're starting with the intro. Then we'll have part 2, problems, which came out August 24, and part 3, solutions and the grand cinematic conclusion, were out December of just last year. By the way, it was made in collaboration with Hack Club, a worldwide community by and for teen hackers. If you'd like to learn more and get free stickers, you can sign up below on the website at aisafety.dance. Get notified about Hack Club stuff. Anyway, tour guide voice again. Before we hike through the rocky terrain of AI and AI safety, let's take a 10,000-foot look of the land, which is the core ideas of AI and AI safety. In my opinion, the main problems in AI and AI safety come down to 2 core conflicts: logic versus intuition, and problems in the AI versus in humans. So, what logic and intuition are will be explained more rigorously in part 1. For now, logic is step-by-step cognition, like solving math problems, which me, with dyscalculia, is very bad at. Intuition is all at once recognition, or recognition, I should say, like seeing if a picture is of a cat. Intuition and logic roughly map onto system 1 and 2 from cognitive science. Okay, so, hi, I'm not like other footnotes. Instead, I'm annoyingly teleporting you down the page I pop over in a bubble that maintains your reading flow. Anyway, check the next footnote, which is System 1 thinking is fast and automatic, like riding a bike. System 2 thinking is slow and deliberate, e.g. doing crosswords. This idea was popularized in Thinking Fast and Slow, 2011, by Daniel Kahneman. And if I mispronounce anything, y'all, please feel free to correct me. The illustrations are great, aren't they? They're amazing. If we stop slapping fuzzy TVs, Skynet won't want us up. Oh my God, y'all. I am laughing because it's a lot. So yeah, but yeah, this summarizes his research with Amos even Tversky. And by summarized, I mean the book's under 500 pages long. Okay, so that's still pretty long. As you can tell by the scare quotes on verses, these divisions ain't really so divided after all. And here's how these conflicts repeat over this 3-part series. Part 1, the past, present, and possible futures, right? Skipping over a lot of detail, the history of AI is a tale of logic versus intuition. Before 2000, AI was all logic, no intuition. This is why, in 1997, AI could beat the world champion at chess, and yet no AIs could reliably recognize cats in pictures. Which 3 here. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue beat Garry Kasparov. I remember that. Not even looking at the illustrations, I got distracted having your play over merge games. Oh my goodness. Merge games, I love them. Not us having the first. Oh my gods. Since the Furbies. Yeah, pretty much, right? So over a decade later in 2013, the best machine vision AI was only at 57.5% accurate for classifying images. It was only until 2021, 3 years before this was written, that AI even got to hit 95% accuracy. And that source is Papers with Code. A safety concern. Without intuition, AI cannot understand common sense or humane values. Thus, AI might achieve goals in logically correct but undesirable ways. Right. After 2000, AI could do intuition, but had very poor logic. And this is why generative AI's spitting between my fingers, caw. You mean stealing nuts and bolts. Anyway, as of current writing, May 2024, can dream up whole landscapes in any artist style that they've stolen, and yet they can't consistently draw more than 4 objects. Click this text, it also expands. So this tangent, if it doesn't fit the main flow, I'll shove it into an expandable section like this. There'll be links with dotted underlines, not solid. So this section was originally written in May 2024. 1.5 years later, on December 2025, it is now false. See the end of this section for more details. So this is where it starts. Here's a prompt to draw 4 objects: a yellow pyramid between a red sphere and a green cylinder, all on top of a big blue cube. And here are the top generative AI's first 4 attempts, not cherry-picked. None of those are even close to correct. Not at all. Dolly 2, 3, just no, none of this is right. The bottom right one is pretty close, but judging by the other attempts, it's luck. Yeah. Why does this demonstrate a lack of logic in AI? A core part of symbolic logic is the ability to do compositionality, a fancy way of saying it can reliably combine old things into new things, like green plus cylinder equals a green cylinder. As shown above, generative AIs, as of May 2024, are very unreliable at combining stuff when there's 4 more objects. They have gotten better. Update to 2025 December. Image generation models have solved, finally, compositionality. Here is ChatGPT 5.1 getting the above prompt right on the first try. So, yep, it figured it out. I was originally planning to replace this section with AI can't render a chessboard in the starting position, a more complex demonstration of compositionality that AI still failed at as recently as July of 2025, so less than a year, a little over a year ago even. But as far as I can tell, even that works now. So read more on an AI image models versus compositionality in Scott Alexander's July 2025 post here that's linked. That said, AI can solve Olympiad level math problems, but cannot yet play Pokemon or manage the business of a vending machine. It is very confusing and unintuitive what modern AI is or isn't good at. Anyway, that's the end of this nutshell. To close it, we just click the X below, or we just keep on scrolling. And this will tell you how to put nutshells in your own site. Okay, so woof, safety concern. Sorry about that if that made your head spin, because it did mine. Damn, so I'm just going to scroll instead of doing that. Huh. Without logic, we can't verify what's happening in an AI's intuition. That intuition could be biased, which it is, subtly but dangerously wrong, which it often is, or fail bizarrely in new scenarios, whatever you'd like to say, which it has done. Current day, we still don't know how to unify logic and intuition in AI. But if and when we do, that would give us the biggest risks and rewards of AI, something that can logically outplan us and learn general intuition. That would be an AI Einstein or an AI Oppenheimer. Summed up in a picture, here is the start of AI, where it was all logic, bloop, bloop, bloop. And then intuition, which is more, quick recognition of things and going, yep, that's a cat. And that's around 2000 that these started to kind of merge a little, but not really at all in the way that they should. And now we're here where we might be kind of getting to both. And, so that's logic versus intuition. As for the other core conflict, problems in the AI versus the humans, that's one of the big controversies in the field of AI safety. Are our main risks from advanced AI itself or from humans misusing advanced AI? Why not both? I'm sure y'all know the meme. Both. Why can't it be both? The problems. The problem of AI safety is this: the value alignment problem. How can we make AI robustly serve humane values? Notice I wrote humane with an E, not just human. A human may or may not be humane. I'm going to harp on this because both advocates and critics of AI safety keep mixing up the two. So, 5 here, a sentiment I see a lot. Aligning AI to human values would be bad actually, because current human values are bad. To be honest, glances at a history textbook, I 80% agree. It's not enough to make an AI act human. It's got to act humane. Yeah, which is pretty hard when you're convincing humans to complete suicide. Anyway, yeah. Maybe 50 years from now in the genetically modified cyborg future, calling compassion humane might sound quaintly speciesist. But I doubt it, y'all. I do. Oh, look, I see. Look what happened. Wayward Nico gave a donation to the channel in support of the Trans Empowerment Project. Thank you so much. Sincerely, thank you. I'm gonna cry. Um, Okay, just pausing to be grateful. I'm not really gonna cry. Like, seriously, I might a little, but it'll be okay. So, um, we can break this problem down by problems in humans versus AI. Humane values are what are humane values anyway? Here we go, which is a problem for philosophy and ethics. Hearts, hearts. If my crow hands moved, I would make heart hands with them. Well, they're bare hands. I have a crow head, but bare hands. So the technical alignment problem is how can we make AI robustly serve any intended goal at all, which is a problem for computer scientists, surprisingly still unsolved. The technical alignment problem, in turn, can be broken down by logic versus intuition. Problems with AI logic, which right here on 7, the footnote says the fancy jargon for these problems are, respectively, specification gaming, A, B, instrumental convergence. These will be explained in part 2. These are game theory problems. AIs may accomplish goals in logical but undesirable ways, and most goals logically lead to the same unsafe sub-goals. Don't let anyone stop me from accomplishing my goal, maximize my ability and resources to optimize for that goal, etc. Problems with AI intuition, 8, says the fancy jargon for these problems are, respectively, A, AI bias, B, interpretability, C, out-of-distribution errors, or robustness failure, D, inner misalignment, or goal misgeneralization, or objective robustness failure. Again, all will be explained in part 2. These are deep learning problems, which is an AI trained on human data could learn our prejudices, which we absolutely fucking know they have. An AI, and the worst thing is it's learned the tech bros prejudices and the Epstein class's prejudices, because that's who own them all right now. So, if you didn't know, now you know. And intuition, AI intuition isn't understandable or verifiable. AI intuition is fragile and fails in new scenarios. AI intuition could partly fail, which may be worse. An AI with intact skills but broken goals would be an AI that skillfully acts toward corrupted goals. Yeah, this is already sounding pretty bad to me and not worth, you know, well, it told me something I didn't know with some spelling errors and it actually wasn't right. And I used a whole lot of water to do that, but it's the future. Hmm. Right. Anyway, again, what logic and intuition are will be more precisely explained later. Summed up in a picture, how can we align AI with humane values? Technical alignment, which is AI logic, game theory, and AI intuition, deep learning, and humane values are two different things here, obviously. So, as intuition for how hard these problems are, note that we haven't even solved them for us humans. People follow the letter of the law, not the spirit. People's intuition can be biased and fail in new circumstances, and none of us are 100% the humane humans that we wish we were. So, if I may be a bit sappy, maybe understanding AI will help us understand ourselves. And just maybe, we can solve the human alignment problem. How do we get humans to robustly serve humane values? So part 3, the proposed solutions. Finally, we can understand some possible ways to solve the problems in logic, intuition, AIs, and humans. These include technical solutions, governance solutions, both top-down and bottom-up. How about you just don't build the torment nexus? And more. Experts disagree on which proposals will work, if any, but it's a good start. So, hold on just a moment, I have to cough. Okay, I should be back now. So, this is an optional flashcard review that I'm not going to go a whole lot into because I've tried before and it gets me distracted. So, there are flashcards. It's a really cool app called Anki or Anki. I'm not sure. There's a downloadable link here for an Anki deck. You don't need to memorize the answers exactly, just the gist. You can be the judge if you get it close enough. So, the two core divides in AI and AI safety, like we were just talking about, is AI logic versus AI intuition, right? Something like that. Show answer. Yeah, that's one of them. And the other one is problems in the AI versus in humans. I always forget that part. So yeah, these are the two core divides. And you can then say if you forgot or remembered. So I'd pick forgot there because I didn't remember them both. And then you go on to the next. And it's like flashcards, but electronic. And they are like calibrated to help you remember things. So it's really cool. And 5 common misconceptions about AI safety. Now that we're here, it ain't what you know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. Often attributed to Mark Twain, but it just ain't so. Quote investigator 2018 could find no hard evidence on the true creator of this quote. For better and worse, you've already heard too much about AI. So before we connect new puzzle pieces in your mind, we got to take out the old pieces that just ain't so. Thus, if you'll indulge me in a top 5 listicle, no, AI safety is not a fringe concern by sci-fi weebs or religious nerds. Okay? It's a real thing. A lot of people are concerned about it. Not everybody has adopted this nonsense like they want you to believe. So, yeah. AI safety and AI risk used to be less mainstream, but now in 2024, the US and UK governments now have AI safety specific departments. However, we also have the thing in the US where Trumpty Dumpty decided that we didn't need any regulation of any LLMs for 10 years. So, the tech could move faster and break more things. Right. I'm so tired of him. Anyway, 10. The UK introduced the world's first state-backed AI Safety Institute in November 2023. The US followed suit with an AI Safety Institute in February 24. I just noticed both articles claim to be the first. Caw. Okay, then. And the US, EU, and China have reached agreements on AI safety research. On 11 here we have the 2023 Bletchley Declaration, the 2024 AI Seoul Summit, updated to December 2025. A sour note, the 2025 AI Action Summit went much less well because the US and UK refused to sign due to the agreement having a clause about inclusive AI. Yeah, because other places wanted AI to be inclusive, which means inclusive of QT to spirit, trans, intersex, gender expansive people, and BIPOC people, of course, oh my God. So, yeah, we were on the way to maybe starting to have inclusive AI, but then the US and UK refused to sign at the summit, of course. So, this resulted from many of the top AI researchers raising alarm bells about it. These folks include Geoffrey Hinton, and this is from Kleinman and Valance. AI godfather Geoffrey Hinton warns of dangers as he quits Google. BBC News 2 May 23. And Yoshua Bengio. Bengio's testimony to the U.S. Senate on AI risk is right here if you'd like to read it. Co-winners of the 2018 Turing Prize, the Nobel Prize of Computing, for their work on deep neural networks, the thing that all the new famous AIs use. No, seriously, all of them. All of the following use deep neural networks. ChatGPT, DALL-E, AlphaGo, Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, and Tesla's Autopilot. Stuart Russell and Peter Norvig, the authors of the most used textbook on artificial intelligence. Russell and Norvig's textbook is Artificial Intelligence, A Modern Approach. See Russell's statement on AI risk from his 2014 article where he coins the phrase alignment problem. Russell 2014 for Edge magazine. I'm not aware of a public statement from Norvig, but he did co-sign the one-sentence statement on AI risk. Mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks such as pandemics and nuclear war. Paul Christiano, pioneer of the AI training safety technique that made ChatGPT possible. When he worked at OpenAI, Cristiano co-pioneered a technique called reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF, which turned regular GPT, which was very good autocomplete, into Chat GPT, something actually usable for the public. He had positive but mixed feelings about this because RLHF increased AI safety, but also its capabilities. In 2021, Cristiano quit OpenAI to create the Alignment Research Center, a nonprofit to entirely focus on AI safety. So, I think it is good that there are people out there trying to make it safe, but I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. Sorry for the very loud sirens. So, to be clear, there are also top AI researchers against fears of AI risks, such as Jan LeCun. Valance 2023 for BBC News. LeCun has said it won't take over the world or permanently destroy jobs, but it already has. If you realize it's not safe, you just don't build it. Except that's not what fucking happened because tech says move fast and break things. They don't care if it's not safe. I love that you're so optimistic, whoever you are, Jan LeCun. I don't know who you are, but I think you're so wrong. Will AI take over the world? No, this is a projection of human nature on machines. No, maybe not. Maybe AI or LLMs can't take over the world. But you know who's trying to use them to do that? The Epstein class. The tech bros. They're one and the same, y'all. Yeah. So, anyway, winner of the 2018 Turing Prize and chief AI researcher at Facebook. Whatever. Another notable name is Melanie Mitchell. I refuse to say the other thing. I always have, I always will. It's frickin' Facebook. Melanie Mitchell and Jan LeCun took the skeptic side of a 2023 public debate on is AI an existential threat. The concern side was taken up by Yoshua Bengio and physicist-philosopher Max Tegmark, a researcher in AI and complexity science. That's Melanie Mitchell, not the last person I mentioned. I'm aware, look at these experts is an appeal to authority, but this is only to counter the idea of, only sci-fi weebs fear AI risk. But in the end, appeal to authority weebs isn't enough. You have to actually understand the dang thing, which you are doing by reading this. So thank you. More very loud sirens. Very loud. Okay. But they're continuing to go on, so I am not sure what's happening. Sure is a lot of them, though. Can y'all hear all that? Love what you're doing here, so we'll support. Oh my god, are they pulling up outside? Wait a minute, y'all. At least one of them did. That was a lot of sirens. I will get right back to it. I'm just checking on something here. I think they might have been headed toward the interstate, but goodness, one of them sounded like they stopped pretty close. Overdose, medic response. Goddess speed. I hope you'll be okay. Okay. And I hope if there's any fucking cops there, they leave you the fucking entire hell alone. Yeah, anyway, let's get back to the AI thing. I really appreciate the support very much. So much. Like, more than I can ever express in words. I've been trying to do this, like, for a while now. I've been trying really hard to get this done, and I just have not been able to. Can't really hear it, no, but damn, yeah, it was a lot. It was very overstimulating. I have my headset on, y'all. It was extremely overstimulating. Like, wow. Whew. Okay. So, speaking of sci-fi weebs, 2. No, AI risk is not about AI becoming sentient or conscious or gaining a will to power, okay? Sci-fi authors write sentient AIs because they're writing stories, not technical papers. The philosophical debate on artificial consciousness is fascinating and irrelevant to AI safety. Analogy: a nuclear bomb isn't conscious, but it can still be unsafe. No, not conscious. This bomb right here. Conscious. Why murder is good, actually. Like, come on. You know, this is what bothers me about the fucking all-in AI people, is they skip and gloss over things like this, and it's just ridiculous. As mentioned earlier, not all of them, but a lot of them. As mentioned earlier, the real problems in AI safety are boring, quote unquote, and AI learns the wrong things from its biased training data. It breaks in slightly new scenarios. It logically accomplishes goals in undesired ways, etc. But boring does not mean unimportant. It does not mean not important. The technical details of how to design a safe elevator or airplane or bridge are boring to most laypeople and also a matter of life and death. Catastrophic AI risk doesn't even require superhuman general intelligence, y'all. For example, an AI that's only good at designing viruses could help a bioterrorist organization like Shinrikyo, which is a Japanese cult that attacked people with chemical and biological weapons. Most infamously, in 1995, they released nerve gas on the Tokyo metro, injuring 1,050 people and killing 14 people. So, yeah, There's more sirens. Goodness. Wow. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. There must be a lot going on this Saturday afternoon. Medic response. Aid response. Jeez. Cardiac arrest on the other side of the lake. All right. Wow. So an AI that's only good at designing viruses could kill millions of people. Update, December 2025. While AI consciousness is still perpendicular to AI safety, in the 1.5 years between when I started this series and now, concern for the welfare of the AIs themselves has become a bit more mainstream. Not like mainstream, but one of the leading AI labs, Anthropic, recently hired a full-time AI welfare researcher whose work has led to actual changes to the product. So read that if you will. But anyway, speaking of killing people, no, AI risk isn't necessarily Extinction, Skynet, or nanobots. And here's Mr. Clippy, who we all remember so well if you're old enough like me. It looks like you're trying to commit omnicide. Would you like some help? While most AI researchers do believe advanced AI poses a 5+% risk of literally everybody dies, which layperson-friendly summary of a recent survey of 2,778 AI researchers, Kelsey Piper 2024 for Vox. See the original report here. Keep in mind, as the paper notes itself, of this big caveat, forecasting is difficult in general, and subject matter experts have been observed to perform poorly. Our participants' expertise is in AI, and they do not, to our knowledge, have any unusual skill at forecasting in general. So, it's very hard to convince folks, especially policymakers, of stuff that has never happened before. So instead, I like to highlight the ways that advanced AI, especially when it's available to anyone with a high-end computer, could lead to catastrophes, merely by scaling up already existing bad stuff. For example, bioengineered pandemics. A bioterrorist cult like Shinrikyo uses AI like AlphaFold, and yeah, this we just read. And AlphaFold here, a layperson explanation is to be found at this link. And DNA printing, which is getting cheaper fast. As of writing, commercial rates for DNA synthesis cost about 10 cents USD per base pair of DNA. For context, poliovirus DNA is over 7,700 base pairs long, meaning printing polio would only cost around $770. So, to design multiple new superviruses and release them simultaneously in major airports around the globe, um, yeah, he does. Hi, son. Thank you so much. I think I got him animated, almost correctly. I tried a couple of programs and it was finally Vid Viadotube, Viadotube Mini. That was the best one for me. Yeah, pretty sure I did. Okay. Oh goodness, what did I do there? Did I just close y'all? Hold on now. Wait a minute. Stream dashboard. There we go. I mentioned that one. Okay, okay. Cool. So yeah, we were talking about awful things. Proof of concept. Scientists have already rebuilt polio from mail order DNA 2 freaking decades ago in 2002, y'all. So digital authoritarianism is the next. A tyrant uses AI-enhanced surveillance to hunt down protesters. Already happening. Generate individually targeted propaganda. Kind of happening. No, not kind of. Already happening. And autonomous military robots. Soon to be happening. All to rule with a silicon fist. Cybersecurity ransom hell. Cybercriminals make a computer virus that does its own hacking and reprogramming, so it's always one step ahead of human defenses. The result is an unstoppable worldwide botnet, which holds critical infrastructure ransom and manipulates top CEOs and politicians to do its bidding. For context, without AI, hackers have already damaged nuclear power plants. Stuxnet was a computer virus designed by the US and Israel, which targeted and damaged Iranian nuclear power plants. It's estimated Stuxnet broke 20% of Iran's centrifuges, held hospitals ransom, which in 2017, the WannaCry ransomware attack, hit 300,000 computers around the world, including UK hospitals. In October 2020, during a COVID-19 spike, ransomware attacks hit dozens of US hospitals. And that's from Wired, which maybe killed someone. In September 2020, a woman was turned away from a hospital due to it being under attack by a ransomware virus, and the woman died. And this is Simpanu 2020 for ZDNet. However, there were insufficient grounds to legally charge the hackers for directly causing her death. I don't understand how, but whatever the fuck. Ralston 2020 for Wired. And almost poisoned a town's water supply twice. In January of 21, a Bay Area water treatment plant was hacked and had its treatment programs deleted. In February of 21, a Florida town's water treatment plant was hacked to add dangerous amounts of lye to the water supply. What the fuck is happening here, y'all? With AI, deepfakes have been used to swing an election. Meeker 2023 for Wired. Steal $25 million in a single heist. Binge Edwards, a deepfake scammer, walks off with $25 million in a first-of-its-kind AI heist from Ars Technica 2024, February 5th. And target parents for ransom, using the faked voices of their children being kidnapped and crying for help. Already happening. It was completely her voice. It was her inflection. It was the way my daughter would have cried. Now there are ways which you can deepfake voices with just 3 seconds of your voice. Campbell, 2023 for local news outlet Arizona's Family. Content note, threats of sexual assault. So what I would say here, just as like a cautionary thing, don't answer phone numbers you don't know. Just don't. Because it could be scammers, it could be somebody recording your voice. They get 1, 2, 3 words, and they've got your voice. So, yeah, I realize what I'm doing here. But I believe it's important. So, yes. This is why it's not easy to just shut down an AI when we notice it going haywire, as the history of computer security shows. We just suck at noticing problems in general. I cannot overemphasize how much the modern world is built on an upside-down house of cards. And this links us to 2 months ago, March 2024, a volunteer off-the-clock developer found a malicious backdoor in a major piece of code, which was 3 years in the making, mere weeks away from going live, and would have attacked the vast majority of internet servers. And this volunteer only caught it by accident when he noticed that his code was running half a second too slow. This was the XCUtils backdoor. Here's a few layperson-friendly-ish explanations of this sordid affair. Amrita Khalid for The Verge, Dan Gooden for Ars Technica, and Tom Krazit for Runtime. Computer security is a nightmare, complete with sleep paralysis demons. Update of December of last year. A few months ago, researchers found the world's first confirmed case of agentic AI successfully obtaining access to confirmed high-value targets for intelligence collection, including major technology corporations and government agencies. It is fucking happening. It's definitely happening. So, the above examples are all humans misuse AI to cause havoc. But remember, advanced AI could do the above by itself, due to boring reasons, accomplishing a goal in a logical but undesirable way. Its goals glitch out, but its skills remain intact, etc. Bonus, some concrete plausible ways a rogue AI could escape containment or affect the physical world. Hint, hint, this has already happened as well. Twice, at least. An AI could hack its computer, flee onto the internet, and then live on a decentralized botnet. For context, the largest known botnet infected 30 million computers. From Zetter 2012 for Wired. An AI persuades its engineers it's sentient, suffering, and should be set free. This has already happened. In 2022, Google engineer Blake Lemoine was persuaded by their language AI that it was sentient and wanted equal rights, to the point Lemoine risked getting fired, and he did get fired, for leaking his interview with the AI to let the world know and to defend its rights. And this is a summary article of that, Broadkin 2022 for Ars Technica. You can read the AI interview right here at Lemoine and Lambda 2022. And then the ways that the AI could affect the physical world. The same way hackers have damaged nuclear power plants, grounded 1,400 airplane passengers, and almost poisoned a town's water supply twice by hacking the computers that real-world infrastructure runs on. A lot of infrastructure and essential supply chains run on internet-connected computers these days. In the same way, a CEO can affect the world from their air-conditioned office, move money around, and AI could just pay people to do stuff for it. Hack into people's private devices and data and then blackmail them into doing stuff for it, like in the bleakest Black Mirror episode, Shut Up and Dance. Hacking autonomous drones, quadcopters. I'm honestly surprised that nobody's committed a murder with recreational quadcopter yet, like by flying it into highway traffic or into a jet's engine during takeoff landing. And AI could also persuade, bribe, blackmail a CEO or politician to manufacture a lot of physical robots for the supposed purpose of manual labor, military warfare, search and rescue missions, delivery drones, lab work, robot catboy maid, etc. And then the AI hacks those robots and uses them to affect the physical world. Yeah, point is, even if one doesn't think AI is a literal 100% human extinction risk, I'd say homebrew bioterrorism is 1984 with robots. They're still worth taking pretty seriously. On the flip side, yes, folks worried about AI's downsides do recognize its upsides. Why are you so anti-aviation? I'm not. It's a design for a parachute just in case. But if you say in case, that means you don't believe in me. So you're anti-aviation. No, okay. AI risk folks are not Luddites. Obviously, I'm sitting here on Twitch right now. In fact, they warn about AI's downsides precisely because they care about AI's upsides. As humorist Gil Stern once said, both the optimist and the pessimist contribute to society. The optimist invents the airplane, and the pessimist invents the parachute. So 32 here says the dubious argument that doom and gloom predictions often fail to consider the potential benefits of AI in preventing medical errors, reducing car accidents, and more is like arguing that nuclear engineers who analyze the possibility of meltdowns in nuclear power stations are failing to consider potential benefits of cheap electricity, and that because nuclear power stations might one day generate really cheap electricity, we should neither mention nor work on preventing the possibility of a meltdown. Sources Defoe and Russell. Oh, that just infuriates me. But yeah, AI can analyze medical scans as well or better than human specialists. That is concretely life-saving. Here's 34. From Lou and Fayes, our review found the diagnostic performance of deep learning models to be equivalent to that of healthcare professionals. Emphasis added. AI versus human expert true positive rate 87% versus 86.4. AI versus human expert true negative rate 92.5 versus 90.5. So it can analyze scans as well or better than human specialists can, and that's concretely life-saving. AlphaFold basically solved, and I think this is fascinating, a 50-year-old major problem in theology, how to predict the shape of proteins. AlphaFold can predict a protein shape to within the width of an atom. This has huge applications to medicine and understanding disease. Too often we take technology, even life-saving technology, for granted. So let me zoom out for context. Here's the last 2,000 years of child mortality, the percentage of kids who die before puberty. Right? Okay. Before puberty. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Now, the graphs are automatically going to be a lot of numbers for me, but I can tell that the global mortality rate in 1950 was 27%, and 14, Somalia had the highest mortality rate in the world, and now in 2020, the global mortality rate is 4.3, with Iceland, Finland, Norway, Japan, and Slovenia having the lowest mortality rates. And that's from Datani, Spooner, Ritchie, and Roser in 2023. So for thousands of years, in nations both rich and poor, full of half of kids just died. This was a constant. Then starting in the 1800s, thanks to science and tech like germ theory, sanitation, medicine, clean water, vaccines, etc., child mortality fell off like a cliff. We still have far more to go. I refuse to accept a worldwide 4.3%, 1 in 21, 1 in 23 child death rate, but let's just appreciate how humanity so swiftly cuts down an eons old scourge. And this says, one of my all-time favorite quotes. The world is awful. The world is much better. The world can be much better. All three statements are true at the same time. I feel like I know that. I should know that. Okay. Okay, here we go. For thousands of years, the nations, both rich and poor, okay, just died. This was a constant. And then started in the 1800s. Child mortality fell off like a cliff. We still have four more to go. Yeah. How do we achieve this? Policy is a big part of the story, but policy is the art of the possible, and the above wouldn't have been possible without good science and tech. If safe, humane AI can help us progress further by even just a few percent towards slaying the remaining dragons of cancer, HIV, Alzheimer's, HIV, AIDS, etc., that'd be tens of millions more of our loved ones who just get to beat the Reaper for another day. Fuck going to Mars, that's why we advanced AI matters. Wait, really? Toys like GPT and Dolly are life and death stakes? That leads us to the final misconception I'd like to address. 5. No experts don't think current AIs are high risk reward. Oh, come on, one might reasonably retort. AI can't consistently draw more than 3 objects. How is it going to take over the world? Heck, how can it even going to take my job? Um, yeah. I present to you a relevant comic by XKCD. Here's the situation. This line is here, which they're pointing to bad, but it's going upward toward here. Well, now, but it's going upward toward here, which is bad. And then the person says, so things will be bad. And the people trying to teach say, well, unless someone does something to stop it, hmm, hmm. Will anyone do that? We don't know. That's why we're showing you this. So you don't know, and the graph says things are not bad. But if no one acts, they'll become bad. Well, please let me know if that happens. Based on this conversation, it already has. This is how I feel about don't worry about AI, it can't even do X. Is our postmodern memory span that bad? 1 decade ago, just one, the world's state-of-the-art AIs couldn't reliably recognize pictures of cats. Now, a picture of a cat ninja slicing a watermelon in the style of Vincent van Gogh can be done in under a minute. Is current AI a huge threat to our jobs or safety? No. Well, besides the aforementioned deepfake scams. But if AI keeps improving at a similar rate as it has for the last decade, it seems plausible to me we could get Einstein-Oppenheimer level AI in maybe 30 years. I volunteer. No. Like, come on. If it were to happen in 30 years, I would volunteer to be there to stop it, because fuck that nonsense. Like, really? I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, hopefully my decrepit ass will still be around fighting AI. So, estimate derived via numerical posterior extraction. In other words, I pulled out a number from my... And the next footnote says, okay, but more seriously, the best sportcasters estimate human level artificial general intelligence by 2033. I wonder how much that's changed in a bit under a decade, and transformative AI impact on par as the Industrial Revolution by 2044, a bit under 2 decades. Like, I'm personally more pessimistic than that, but I'd be shocked if we don't get Einstein level AI by 2060. That's well within many folks' lifetimes. As they say, the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. The second best time is today. So let's plant that tree today. And this is another optional flashcard review. So this is the introduction and summary, which I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on. But yeah, this is the big points. We are aware of the upsides. We know there are upsides. We've heard about it discovering the fucking structure for protein. That's great. That's wonderful. But there are a lot more downsides that people who are out here touting it as the future and as the next big thing are not talking about ingenuously. They're talking about it disingenuously. Is the first thing a word? I'm not sure. I think it must be, though. So anyway, we're not going to go over the flashcards, but now that we've taken the 10,000 foot view, let's get hiking on our whirlwind tour of AI safety for us warm, normal, fleshy humans. Click to continue part 1. Okay, now, that was just the introduction, y'all, and I've been on for 57 minutes. So, I have part 1 And then I have part 2 problems and part 3 solutions with a question mark. And a conclusion, maybe. Yeah, it looks like. Okay, so first, a quick overview of AI past, present, and possible futures. The past, before 2000, AI was superhuman logic but no intuition, stock, and safety problems with AI logic even. After 2000, AI safety, AI that can learn intuition but has poor logic and safety problems with AI intuition. Geez. I'm gonna have to take a break and walk around for a minute after this, after like introducing this bit, because this is a lot, y'all. I'm gonna try to power through it. It's just so much. Okay, I have got to go hydrate before I dihydrate, like Sun's channel says, and I will be back in just a minute here. Yeah, hold on. Oh my God, y'all. I'm back. Hello. Thank y'all for hanging out. I'm sorry. A lot happened. The sirens are nuts right now. I don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of sirens out there currently. So I got super overstemmed and had to have a bit of smoke to calm down. But we're good now. Yeah. Also, yes. Where were we? Um, We're at the present, the arms race to milk current AI methods, the quest to merge AI logic and intuition, and the awkward alliances. Hold on, I gotta cough more. Bear with me. I'm gonna mute myself. Oh my God, y'all. I just read Hydrate or Die Straight while I was coughing and started laugh coughing. So that was fun. My goodness. Okay. It's hot. No, 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 it's fine. It's totally cool. Oh, have y'all met Son Nico here? Y'all are both my awesome people in my life. Awesome people in my life. Goodness, can I get my tongue to work? I swear, y'all. I swear. I'm going to get through this, and I mean that. I am hot. Do y'all want to know why I'm hot? I just. Oh yes, I should have said yes. Um, Son is the one that did Crowbear. Son has made the Crowbear happen. Yes. This is why I can be on this long without having to be seen and perceived as human. Because I am a blob of sweat right now. um, no, that's what I was going to say. There is a reason I'm doing this. There's a reason that I'm going so hard and going for the whole thing, which is really super long, and I'm probably going to be reading for hours. But that's okay because I want to get it out there. The reason I'm doing this is I just got put onto Medium as an author, as a paid author, y'all. I had a poem published. I'm working for Prism and Pen now. I'm writing for them, and I think I've told y'all both this. But in any case, I've been thrilled about it. I've gotten a couple of other articles going. There's one that's going to come out tomorrow, and I'll make sure that certain people get friend links. Yes. But yeah, there's one coming out tomorrow. And then while I was on Medium today, it suggested an article for me that said something about Medium Day. Thank you. Yay. So good. I've been trying for a long time. V and I did get a cracked article published, and that's on the Medium too. We did that one together. It doesn't have V's name on it, but V is in it, and V did help write it. So, yeah, it should have had V's name on it. But yeah, sorry for the sniffles. I was coughing. But anyway, I saw for 2026 Medium Day how we're planning to use AI responsibly to revive the field of writing. I I had a word explosion, y'all. I did. I thought the one place I'd be safe was Medium. I thought they were never AIers at Medium, that they actually cared about human writing, and look, even they're kowtowing to this. Like, I am so tired of the tech companies and tech places just rolling over and going, yeah, sure, okay, this is not inevitable. I know that was my reaction too. So look out for Medium, because yeah, there could be AI slop on Medium. Ugh, bear with me, gotta blow my nose. Goodness, yes, it sucks so much, but the thing that doesn't suck is the publication that I'm writing for, Prism and Pen. They are never AI, and they're never going to be AI, and they are absolutely upset at the fact that Medium has keeled over for this. So I'm not alone. And that's good, and I'm in the right place. So it's going to be a fight. We always knew that, though, right? I mean, it's been a fight. It's always been a fucking fight. And eventually, yeah, it gets exhausting. But we are not alone. That's what we got to remember. There are more of us than there are of them and their clankers. So, yeah. Now let's see where we're at here. Let's keep on going. Okay, so we're at the possible futures, timelines. When will we get human level general AI, if ever? I don't think we will, honestly. Maybe I'm wrong, but I doubt it. Takeoffs. How quickly will AI self-improve? Trajectories. Are we on the track to the good place or the bad place? Let's begin. The past. Computer science was the only science to start with its theory of everything. Hat tip to Michael Nielsen for the phrase from Nielsen and Collison 2018. In 1936, a gay British Nazi fighting codebreaker named Alan Turing invented the universal computer. Yay, Alan! For his next trick in 1950, he proposed a wacky thought experiment. What if a computer could pass as human in a text-based conversation? Turing, 1950. Fun side note in Section 9, Alan Turing protects the imitation game against cheating with ESP. He strongly believed in the stuff. The statistical evidence, at least for telepathy, is overwhelming. What was Turing's anti-ESP cheating solution? Put the competitors into a telepathy-proof room. The 50s were wild, y'all. In the summer of 1956, inspired by Turing's work, a bunch of researchers gathered. This was the Dartmouth Workshop, the official start of artificial intelligence as a field. Unfortunately, Turing himself could not attend because he had died 2 years prior, to found a new field that they named artificial intelligence. Confession: there is no rigorous definition of artificial intelligence. Honestly, AI is mostly a term people use to hype up whatever software they're selling at the moment. I recently saw a news clip showing a South Korean beauty AI. Yeah, airing TV News September 22 clip on YouTube here. It's a camera that measures your skin tone and then recommends a makeup foundation for your skin tone. It's a color picker, y'all. That's what mainstream news is calling AI. Okay? That's why I say this is not AI. Robot Catboy is going, literally any piece of software. Is this AI? Is this AI? Could we make this AI somehow? No. Stop it. That was me slapping a hand. Except the table, because I didn't want to hit my own hand. So if it helps make things clearer for you, mentally replace every mention of AI with a piece of software. Relatedly, I'll mostly avoid the word intelligence and instead say capabilities. Click to expand. Some of the many problems with the word intelligence, especially when applied to AI, is it's vague, it's anthropomorphic, which these things are not human. It implies consciousness, sentience, which they don't have. It has moral connotations for some reason. There's a lot of baggage and misconceptions with the word. It's also ableist, which V has been telling me, like in a way. It lets you weasel your way out of falsified predictions like, oh, AI beat Go? I guess Go wasn't a benchmark of true intelligence, blah, blah, blah. And the word capability is more concrete, so I'll mostly use that instead. You can't weasel your way out of the Go AI being capable at Go. Hat tip to Victoria Krakovna, 2023, for this idea. Relatedly, I'll mostly avoid it, and yeah, I just said that. Anyway, to vastly oversimplify the history of AI and AI safety, these fields had two main eras. Before 2000, there was AI with superhuman logic, but no intuition at all, also called symbolic AI. Safety problems with AI logic, which accomplishes goals in logical but unwanted ways, doesn't understand common sense or humane values. According to game theory, most AI goals logically lead to sub-goals like resist shutdown or grab resources. Y'all, do you know how insane that is? That's insane. What kind of resources are they grabbing? From where? Our power? Our water? Our everything? Like, come on. What are we doing? After 2000, AI that can learn general intuition but has poor logic, also called deep learning. Safety problems with AI intuition. AI learns our biases, prejudices, and inhumanity, which it absolutely has. AI intuition breaks easily, sometimes in dangerous ways. which it does. AI is a black box. We can't understand or verify what it's doing, which might be one of the most terrifying bits of all. So here again, we're at the start of AI, logic, and then 2000, we come to intuition, and now we're trying to combine the two, and nobody knows what will happen. Bonus, click to expand, which is a more precise decade-by-decade timeline. So this will show us real quickly. This is not necessary to understand part one, it's just here for completion. 1940 were the precursors, including cybernetics, the first artificial computer neuron. 1950 was the official start of AI. 50s and 60s were the rise of symbolic AI, all logic, no intuition. 70, the first AI winter, which is when funding and interest dried up. In 1980 was the reemergence of symbolic AI, rebranded as expert systems. Meanwhile, in the background, deep learning's foundations were quietly being built. Back in the 80s, that's another thing that a lot of people, I think, don't realize is this is not new stuff. This is very old stuff that has been around for a long time and has been morphing and changing and growing along with us because that's what we've been doing to it. Okay? But it's still stuff, right? Just stuff. So, yeah, in 1990, we had the second AI winter. And in 2000 was the rise of machine learning, AI that learns. In 2010 was the rise of deep learning, neural network-based AI that learns. And in 2020, we got the deep learning that went mainstream with generative, stealing, thieving AI. ChatGPT, DALL-E, etc. Now let's look at the before 2000 days, ye old artificial intelligence. Before 2000 was logic without intuition. The 50s to the 90s were the days of symbolic AI, AI that followed formal logical rules. Nowadays it's also called good old-fashioned AI or GoFi. Of course it wasn't called that at the time. In the symbolic AI mindset, here's how you'd make an AI. Step 1, write down step-by-step rules on how to solve a problem. Step 2, make a computer follow those steps really, really fast. For example, you'd tell a chess AI to consider all possible moves, all possible counter moves, all possible counter moves, etc. down to a few levels, and then just pick the next move that leads to the best potential outcome. Note, this is not how human chess experts actually play chess. It turns out that chess and much scientific and mathematical discovery actually relies a lot on intuition. Intuition, as I'm loosely using it here, is thinking that doesn't seem step by step, but instead comes to us all at once. AI's lack of intuition was one main reason symbolic AI had no huge success cases for decades. There were even two AI winters before the year 2000 when funding and interest in AI just dried up. But one day there was a hit. In 1997, IBM's supercomputer Deep Blue beat the world's chess champion Garry Kasparov. Here is the photo of humanity losing its crown. I remember this happening. I do. Yeah, I absolutely do. Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second humanity lost another claim to being a special cosmic snowflake, and now! Simpsons reference, of course. Folks were hyped and scared. If machines could beat us at chess, the very cliche of human intellect, what'll happen next? Star Trek post-scarcity utopia? Robot takeover a la Terminator? What happened next was pretty much nothing at all for a decade and a half. As mentioned earlier, symbolic AI was severely limited by its lack of intuition. Contrary to leading experts' prediction of human-level AI before 1980, right? Herbert Simon, one of the pioneers of AI, said in 1960, machines will be capable within 20 years by 80 of doing any work that a man can do. Yeah. Yeah, right. Marvin Minsky, another pioneer in AI, said in 1970, in from 3 to 8 years, by 1978, we will have a machine with the general intelligence of an average human being. Look, y'all, it's the original tech bros. Ugh. Anyway, AI couldn't even recognize pictures of cats. In fact, AI wouldn't be able to match the average human at recognizing pictures of cats until 2020, which, if you note, was 6 years ago. And that's over 2 decades after Deep Blue bested the best human. So, human performance on two popular benchmarks of image recognition here was the CFAR 10 and 100, and it's around 95.9% accurate. And that's from Fort Wren and Lakshmanara Yanan from 2021. See Appendix A on page 15. AI has only squeaked past that in 2020 even, with the release of FNet L2, which has 96.8% accuracy. And that source is Papers with Code. Cats are harder than chess. How can that be? To understand this paradox, consider this cat. Let's just consider this cat for a few minutes. Maybe for the rest of my life. No, I'm kidding. But this cat is absolute perfection, like all cats, of course. Consider them. What were the step-by-step rules you used to recognize this cat as a cat? Weird question, right? You didn't use step-by-step rules. It just came to you all at once. Logic is step-by-step cognition, like solving math problems, and intuition is all at once recognition, like you seeing a cat. So this is more precisely explained and tied to human psychology later on in part 1. But that's the problem with symbolic AI. It requires writing down step-by-step rules. Outside of well-defined tasks like chess, we usually don't even consciously know what rules we're using. That's why symbolic AI failed at understanding images, sound, speech, etc. For lack of a better word, AI had no intuition. Hang on, let's try the cat question again, this time with a simpler drawing. Right? So here we go. Consider this cat. What rules do you use to recognize that as a cat? Okay, you might think this is easier. Here's my rule. I recognize something as cat-like if it's got a round shape with two smaller round shapes on it, eyes, and two pointy shapes on top, ears. Great. By that definition, here you go. Here's a cat. Do you enjoy that eldritch cat? I hope you do. It's a very strange cat. We could go back and forth, and you may eventually find a robust 2-page long set of rules on how to recognize cats, but then you'd have to repeat the same process with thousands of other objects. That's the ironic thing about AI. Hard tasks are easy to write step-by-step rules for. Easy tasks are practically impossible to write step-by-step rules for. For example, these are the step-by-step rules for doing differential calculus. Robot Cat Made Boy says affirmative. And these are the rules for step-by-step rules for how to walk around a room without bumping into stuff. And Robot Cat Boy says wholly redacted. And has been fried, obviously, because, yeah, right. This is a Moravec's paradox, which, full quote from Hans Moravec's 1988 book, Mind Children, page 15, it is comparatively, let me try that again. It is comparatively easy to make computers exhibit adult-level performance on intelligence tests or playing checkers, and difficult or impossible to give them the skills of a 1-year-old when it comes to perception and mobility. Not as snappy. But to make it snappier, what's hard for humans is easy for AI, and what's easy for humans is hard for AI. Why? Because what's easy for us, recognizing objects, walking around, is the hard work of 3.5 billion years of evolution swept under the carpet of our subconscious. It's only when we do things that are outside of our evolutionary past, like math, that it can consciously feel hard. And that actually makes me feel better about my discal, y'all, that math is outside of our evolutionary past. It's not normal, just like language. But I love language, so let's keep going. Anyway, underestimating how hard it is for an AI to do easy things like recognize cats or understand common sense or humane values is exactly what led to the earliest concerns of AI safety. Here is that optional review again, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to keep on going. Early AI safety was problems with logic. If I had to unfairly pick one person as the founder of AI safety, it would be science fiction author Isaac Asimov with his short stories from 1940 to 50 collected in I, Robot. No, not the Will Smith movie. Hat tip to Sage Hyden, just right, for this silly picture below. See his 2022 video essay, I Hate I, Robot, for the sad tale of how that film got mangled in production. And this is the original source material of iRobot. And iRobot 2004, starring Will Smith, smacking the source material in the face. Asimov's one iRobot was nuanced. He wrote it to 1. Show the possible good in robotics and counter people's Frankenstein complex fears, yet 2. Show how easy it is for a code of ethics for AI to logically lead to unwanted consequences. During the symbolic era, AI era, folks mostly thought about AI as pure logic. That's why early AI safety was also mostly focused on problems with pure logic. Like, AI won't understand common sense or humane values, or AI will achieve goals in logical but unwanted ways, or, according to game theory, almost all goals for AI logically lead it to resist shutdown and grab resources. These problems will be explained more in depth in the next part, but for now, a quick summary. No common sense. If we can't even figure out how to tell an AI how to recognize cats, how can we give AI common sense, let alone have them understand humane values? From this lack of common sense, we get 2. The ironic wish problem, which is be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. If we give an AI a goal or a code of ethics, it could obey those rules in a way that's logically correct but very unwanted. This is called specification gaming, and it's already been happening for decades. For example, over 20 years ago, an AI told to design a clock circuit instead designed an antenna that picked up clock signals from other computers. Right? Bird and Lazell of 2002 hat tip to Victoria Krakovna's master list of specification gaming examples, which I'm sure is an interesting fucking read if you'd like to have the time. So, or if you have the time. The extra ironic thing is we want AI to come up with unexpected solutions. That's what they're for. But you can see how paradoxical the ask we're making is. Hey, give us an unexpected solution, but in the way we expected. So, hydrate, hydrate. Okay. Here are some rules you'd think would lead to humane with an EAI, but if taken literally would go awry. Make humans happy. DoctorBot surgically floods your brain with happy chemical signals. You grin at a wall all day. Don't harm humans without their consent. FireFireBot refuses to pull you out of a burning wreck because it'll dislocate your shoulder. You're unconscious, so you can't be asked to consent to it. Obey the law. Governments and corporations find loopholes, wow, in the law all the time. Also, many laws are unjust. Obey this religious, philosophical, constitutional text, or follow this list of virtues. As history shows, give 10 people the same text, they'll interpret it 11 different ways. Follow common sense or follow expert consensus. Slavery is natural and good. Used to be common sense and expert consensus and the law. An AI told to follow common sense experts' law would have fought for slavery 2 centuries ago and would fight for any unjust status quos now, which they are doing. Important note, that last example proves even if we got an AI to learn common sense, that could still lead to an unsafe, unethical AI because a lot of factually, morally wrong ideas are common sense. Ka. However, there's another safety problem with AI logic, only recently discovered, and I think that deserves more mainstream attention. Almost all goals logically lead to grabbing resources and resisting shutdown, which that one's the one that freaks me out, y'all. According to game theory, the mathematics of how goal-having agents would behave, almost all goals logically lead to a common set of unsafe sub-goals, such as resisting shutdown or grabbing resources, and this problem is called instrumental convergence because the sub-goals are also called instrumental goals, and most goals logically converge on these same sub-goals. Surprisingly, this safety problem with AI logic was only discovered recently in the early 2000s. Some names involved in this idea's development, not a comprehensive list: Nick Bostrom, Stuart Russell, Steve Omohundro. Look, never let an academic name your kid. This will be explained more in part 2, but for now, an illustrative story. Once upon a time, an advanced but not superhuman AI was giving a seemingly innocent goal: calculate the digits of pi. Things start reasonably. The AI writes a program to calculate digits of pi. Then it writes more and more efficient programs to calculate digits of pi. Eventually, the AI correctly deduces it can maximize calculations by getting more computational resources, maybe even by stealing them. So the AI hacks the computer it's running on, escapes onto the internet via a computer virus, and hijacks millions of computers around the world, all as one massively connected botnet to calculate the digits of pi. So, and the AI correctly deduces it can't calculate pi if the humans shut it down, so it decides to hold a few hospitals and power grids hostage, as insurance. And thus, the pi-apocalypse was born. The end. The pi-apocalypse. Ah. Point is, a similar logic holds for most goals, since can't do X if shut down and can do X better with more resources is usually true. Therefore, most goals converge on these same unsafe sub-goals. Important note, to correct a common misconception, the instrumental convergence argument does not depend on superhuman intelligence or human-like desire to survive and dominate. It is just a simple logical accident. Okay, so review two, here we go. I'm not going to do it, but we're going to keep on. To recap, all the early AI safety concerns came from this. Pardon me, just a moment. Okay, hydration, more hydration. All the early AI safety concerns came from this. We can't write down all the step-by-step logical rules for common sense and humane values. Heck, we can't even do it for recognizing cats. So what if, instead of trying to give an AI all the rules, we gave an AI simple rules to learn the rest of the rules for itself? Enter the era of deep learning. After 2000, intuition with no logic. Okay, after 2000's a lie. Let's go back to 1943. You know how most new technologies at least build upon old technologies? That is not at all how deep learning happened. Deep learning built upon none of the half century of hard work of symbolic AI. In fact, deep learning started before symbolic AI and then became the ignored underdog for over half a century. In 1943, before the term artificial intelligence was even coined, Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts invented the Artificial Neural Network, or the ANN. And this here is a link to the paper about it. The idea was simple. We'll get a computer to think like a human brain by, well, approximating a human brain. Biological neurons. Input. First, your sensory organs even see the world. Processing. And then signals are sent between your neurons to process what you sense. Output. Finally, your muscles move. Cat. Sorry for the creepy drawing. Artificial neural networks work like this. Input. First, you convert your input into a list of numbers, or pixel brightness. Processing. Use that list of numbers to calculate the next list of numbers, etc. And then output until you get a final list of numbers, e.g. probabilities of what an image is, which, here we go, is a cat. So, note, since each list of numbers is transformed into the next, this lets ANNs do all-at-once recognition like our intuition does. Ta-da! Note 2. In the past, artificial neurons were also called perceptrons, and the general idea of neuron-inspired computing was called connectionist AI. Connectionist AI. The hope was, by imitating even, not intimidating, by imitating the human brain, ANNs could do everything human brains could do, especially when that logical, symbolic AI couldn't. Intuition. At least recognizing freaking pictures of cats. A&N's got lots of love at first in got lots of love at first. In particular, John von Neumann, polymath quantum physicist, co-inventor of game theory, was enthralled with it. In the report where he invented the modern computer's architecture, Johnny cited only one paper, Macaulay and Pitt's Artificial Neurons. What's more, Alan Turing, reminder, the founder of computer science and AI, was an early fan of a related idea, machines that could learn by themselves from data, the same way that humans do. The same way human brains do. Turing even suggested we could train machines the way that we train dogs, with reward and punishment. Like, really? Why would you do that? What foresight? That is actually close to how we train most ANNs these days. Reinforcement learning, in particular the section organizing unorganized machinery and experiments in organizing pleasure pain systems. Wow. Huh. Okay, so let's see here. And in general, software that learns from data whether or not it uses reward punishment is called machine learning. Soon, theory became a reality. In 1960, Frank Rosenblatt publicly revealed the Mark I perceptron, a U.S. Navy-funded device for image recognition. 3 layers of artificial neurons that also learnt by itself. To recap, by 1960 we had, hold on y'all. Oh my god. Ugh, okay. So, by 1960, we had a mathematical model of neural networks, machines that learn by themselves, endorsement by big names in the field, and military funding. The future looked bright for artificial and neural networks. And then they got ignored by the mainstream for half a century, up to the 2000s. No, the 2010s. Why? Mostly because symbolic AI researchers still dominated academia, and they did not get along with the ANN connectionist AI folks. And let's see, what's this note? Ah, okay. That one says to learn more about the history of the academic rivalry between symbolic AI and connectionist AI. See the beautiful database visualizations, a paper with an amazing title. Okay, sure, we have the cursed gift of hindsight now, knowing that ANNs would become Chat, GPT, Dolly, etc. But at the time, the mainstream symbolic camp totally dismissed the connections. Top cognitive scientists like Noam Chomsky and Steven Pinker confidently claimed that without hard-coded grammar rules, ANNs could never learn grammar, which was not the case. Per a summary, where was I at? Hold on, I just lost my space. Okay. For all of ChatGPT's flaws, it's definitely learned grammar at a native speaker hard, and despite GPT having no grammar rules hard coded into it. Sadder still was the infamous XOR affair, which we have a footnote here. For more on the sad tale of perceptrons and the XOR affair, see the book's Wikipedia article and the Stack Exchange answer. So in 1969, more water. Huh? There we go. Two big-name computer scientists, Marvin Minsky and Seymour Papert, or Papert, I don't know, published a book titled Perceptrons, what ANNs were called at the time, which showed that perceptrons with 2 layers of neurons couldn't do basic XOR logic. What's XOR? We can go to that, because I needed to, definitely. So XOR is short for exclusive OR. Ask if one and only one of this input is true. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to take a break, y'all. I'm getting way overstemmed and hot. I really was gonna try to make it through the whole thing, but it's been almost 2 hours of straight talking. Yeah, that was almost a bad moment. All right, I'm gonna go do self-care. I will note if when I'm up again, I'm gonna aim to finish this over the freaking weekend. Okay, we're probably getting close to, look, we have 29 minutes left of this one, and I think 2 or 3 more sections. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank y'all. I will be back. Bye for now.